Hey, good morning, and welcome to a special edition of Hobby Evolution interview with Fujitsu's head of sales, Don Caruso. We're going to talk about Fujitsu and how their scanners are one of the most amazing things when it comes to bulk listing and scanning of trading cards, and especially when it comes to listing on eBay and other platforms. So, Don, thanks so much for spending some time this morning and talking a little bit about not just Fujitsu, but we're going to talk cards and your background as well.
Oh yeah, thank you for having me, Bo. This is I watch your podcast almost every night along with my son, and we're really happy to be on here and hopefully make the world a little bit better place for your listeners by showing them some new technology.
So we've been nerding out the last couple of days. We had a conversation yesterday on the phone, and we were talking this morning. We actually learned a little bit about. We both have some nerdiness as far as wrestling fans go. We're autograph collectors. Yeah. We could be brothers.
Probably.
We've got so much in common, and I'm sure a lot of people that are watching here that are involved in the hobby can say the same. Wrestling fans, autograph fans, baseball card fans. So what's your background? You've been collecting for a long time. What's your background in the hobby and with cards and autographs and all that?
Yeah. So, I'm 45 years old. So I grew up during the junk era of cards, right? The 1980s. And just like you, my favorite year to collect baseball or football cards is the 1988 set. My three favorite teams are the Seattle Seahawks, the San Francisco Giants, the Golden State Warriors, and I dabble in hockey every once in a while. It's too warm here in California to go to a hockey game. So I spent so much money trying to get the Brian Bosworth rookie cards and the Bo Jackson rookie cards out of that pack that I probably could have just went to the local flea market and buy them for $2 to $3, right? So I've been collecting. Yeah, there you go. That's it. I've spent way too much money on that pack. So I've been collecting cards ever since I was 5 or 6 years old. I was a big set collector. So all those 80 sets that we just talked about in football and baseball, I pretty much have them still to this day in my garage. Graduated college in the late 90s, 2000s. And, the hobby kind of died at that point in time. There was all these manufacturers out, as you all know, and really kind of shifted focus to business professional life, right? Just trying to put a roof over our head. And then I had a kid. And let me tell you, having a kid got me right back into the hobby because, my son, who's now 10, is a sports nut. He's on a travel baseball team. Big shout out to the Morgan Hill Toros, your number 3 ranked team in California. He collects cards as well. So the beauty about it is that I've also been, as you mentioned early, collecting autographs since I was a kid. We would do the TTM through the mail. Put a little card in an envelope and send those cards out, write a nice letter, and, your favorite players would send them signed. So I've probably got, I don't know, somewhere between 500 to 1,000 autograph cards of various kinds. Weird things such as Batman and cool things like Steve Largent rookie cards signed, right?
So one of my first TTM as a kid, you'll appreciate this as a Seahawks fan.
Yeah.
Dan McGuire.
He owns in Reno, he owns like a sports drink.
Oh, really?
Company. Yeah. And his address is blasting all over the websites that you can send and get. And I've got one too. That guy should have been a stud for us. Instead, he was a dud and led to that, awesome 1990s records that we posted, but the 2000s are different. So we're a much different team now in the 2000s. So, so that on the personal side, that's the story of my life is I'm just a collector. You look around this room, obviously not in the background, but, I've got jerseys on the wall and collecting mini helmets and all that. Wrestling figures. Don't even get me started about wrestling. I've got a ton of those. From a professional standpoint, I've been with Fujitsu for 16 years now. Dabbled with software companies in the AI market and digital transformation area. Fujitsu, the company's been around forever. We've been focused on document scanners for the last 25 to 30 years. We have about I think our market share is in the high 70s. So, we are the market leader when it comes to people buying these types of scanners in the United States. Our focus up until about a year ago has always been the government and healthcare arenas. So you walk into a hospital, you'll see our scanners. You go to the Homeland Transportation, you'll see our scanners. Anywhere where there's paper is our scanners. Even the White House, we have scanners in the White House as well. And it was only recent until I started sitting on these podcast breaks late at night where I started wondering, where does all these cards go? Gosh, you look at people buying these $1,000 boxes and getting 7 or 8 cards now. It just blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind. They're hunting for these $1,000 Mike Trout autographs. And what do they do with all these extra cards? And then I started finding people like yourself who are evangelizing scanning and wanted to get on the bandwagon.
So I'm gonna dive in. I'm looking at the chat, and we've got Jenny, Ken, Beans Ball Card Blog, Troy, Greg is with us, Andrew, Chronozio is with us as well, and I see Chronozio's comment, and that's how I found Fujitsu Scanners. Was you mentioned the bulk sellers, and I'm a bulk seller. Look behind me, all the cards, and I'm listing these. How can I list them faster? I mean, that's time is money. And just doing it the old-fashioned way wasn't cutting it. And I was doing some Google searches, and I might have found the link to their article on scanners on LinkedIn. And I'm like, this is absolutely amazing. And I did a video initially before I even bought the product, and I saw the different types of scanners that are being utilized by Chronozio and by many other big sellers in the trading card industry. How did that relationship come about between Fujitsu and Chronozio?
I don't want to say it's by accident. I found Chronozio by accident, right? But Chronozio has been doing this for a long time. It's David LaFawn, who's the owner of Chronozio, big shout out. He's been working on some great technology over the years to improve the selling engine to eBay with his Chronozio product. And I found him by accident, to be honest with you. I was on Google one day looking for how do you scan, show me some images. I found you and I found David. And about 6 months ago, we started to build a relationship and created this very unique platform for him to be able to resell the scanners as well. So a user can buy his software, they can go to his website, pay the subscription fees, and then purchase a scanner along with it. And, their technology is absolutely awesome and unique on the market. It works extremely well. He's spent a ton of effort in R&D development to make sure that the images and the names of random cards are pulled off accurately. It's amazing when you start to think about how many cards there are just in the last 5 years and how accurate it is to pull off. And I don't remember the exact user base that he has, but it's quite a bit. It's probably the most popular platform to scan cards and sell them connected to eBay that's on the market right now.
And we see a couple scanners in the background.
Yeah.
Behind you, you've got the Scan Snap I think that's the 7030. That's what I've been using.
That's the 7030. This right here. This is the scanner that everybody's talking about right now. That's in the platforms on the chat platform that I'm seeing off to the side here. So this is really the benchmark product for scanning cards. And with Fujitsu, we have about 25 to 30 scanners on our line. There's a lot of different options. And, for us, it's paper handling, reliability, and image quality are really our key foundation points. The 7030 is one of our bookmark scanners in the sense that it's fast enough to scan bulk amounts. When you go to the Burbank's card shop, they're scanning 30,000 cards a day using this scanner. Actually, it's its predecessor that they're using, the 6130, but it's the same thing pretty much. And the scanner is built like a tank. It'll last forever. It'll continue scanning. highly recommended for your sub $10 cards, right? I'm not going to put a Mickey Mantle rookie card through here. No way, right? It'd be silly. That's why we have this, the SV600. And we'll go into that in a little bit later. But this scanner, you can put, I've got a number of documents, a number of scanners right here in the document feeder. You just press a button and hit scan, and the scans will go, and it'll give you a high image quality up to 600 DPI at your choice, which is more than enough to sell on the eBay platform. I know that there are some people who put things in these penny sleeves or these top loaders, or even these types of card saver type of documents. I have my son's card here. It will scan it, but you just got to be very careful because, the quality of the scratches on the card or saver part could play a factor. The camera technology is so high end, it'll pick up anything. If you have a piece of lint in your loader, it's going to pick that up. So I would err on the side of caution when using these, especially these cheap penny savers. The only time I found this to work is when it's brand spanking new and certain kinds.
Yeah.
Like the really high end kinds, it'll take it through. But after it's first pass, the rollers will tend to move it around and give you creases, which you don't want on your images, right? But that's the 7030. It's a 30 page per minute scanner. We have the next level up. A lot of people own a product called the 7160, the FI 7160. That's a 60 page per minute scanner, so it's twice the speed. When you go on Chronosio and look at their website, a lot of their videos are the 7160. This scanner is kind of unique. This is the overhead projection scanner called the ScanSnap SV600. This is where I would recommend you scanning, these types of slabbed cards from PSA or Beckett, or your chrome cards, for example, that have a higher gloss. And it's literally just an overhead projector. It'll just scan through a swiping pass and take images of your cards. Much better than using your camera phone. Who wants to sit here and do this all day long? I sure don't. The flatbed dedicated scanners on the market work well too. They're not garbage, but they're dedicated to one thing. You can't do anything else with it. Think of what you can do with this. You can scan comic books. I can get my wrestling figures we just talked about a little while ago and scan the wrestling figures. The same thing with scanners. With the scanner, the dedicated scanner has always been scanning invoices or paper, photographs, anything you can do with this. So, for the same price as you can for a high-end flatbed, you can get so much more here and using so many different things. And I think that's what people are finding as they buy the product.
Yeah, and I want to go with scanning the penny sleeves and top loaders, and you mentioned you're not going to scan a 52 tops Mickey Mantle, and that's there was a lot of when I first got the 7030, I showed it off on social media. There was a lot of kickback from people that are I don't want to put my cards through there, but it's risk management. If I'm sending a lot of the cards that I'm selling and I'm sending out are less than $10, they're going out in a plain white envelope. Would I take the risk and send a high-end $500 in a plain white envelope? Absolutely not. It's going in, in a box if it's, a really expensive card, or otherwise, a bubble mailer. So it's all about risk management. If I'm going to send it in a plain white envelope, there's low risk involved. And I also say I've scanned over 10,000 cards so far with the 7030. Not a single card has been damaged. No corners, no edging. Nothing has been damaged. There's a better chance that I'm going to pick up a pile, and I've got piles next to me, that I'm going to swing my arm and knock a pile of cards and damage them, as opposed to them getting damaged.
Your fingernails will do more damage than that. I don't know if I've scanned 10,000, but I've certainly scanned quite a bit, prepping for this market. There's only been one problem, and that was my fault. I put a relic card in with a big pile. And I didn't realize it, and it got jammed in there, and I had to pull it out. So, but you're right. It's very much as a risk management type of offering, right? The reward outweighs the risk big time. And Mike, you're right. Using the top loaders, every once in a while, these top loaders, the more that you scan on it, the more wear and tear you're going to do on the top loader. And there is camera technology behind this. So the more that you're using these top loaders, eventually you're going to have to replace some of the mechanisms inside. Like you might scratch the glass, for example, which is a big no-no. So buying a service contract, along with the scanners is really important, because we'll help you guys out with that if something happens, right? So again, I'm not doing this to try to sell thousands of scanners, right? I'm doing this to help the hobby, because that's what I care about, is the hobby. And of course, selling scanners is a big positive to that. And, as these brick and mortar stores fade away because of all the online selling, there's got to be a way that people can image their documents. And this is one of the few answers that are out there right now.
And they're super easy to use. If those that are watching, that watch my morning program at 7 a.m., Hobby Evolution, I am like one of the least computer savvy people out there. Like I am just not computer savvy when it comes to printers and scanners and setting them up. It's like it's a chore for me. And when I first set up the first was the 7030, and it was like plug and play. Like, I mean, there was minimal, like a guy like me that's pretty dumb when it comes to computers, set up. And I mean, it was within 20 minutes of me opening the box, I was scanning cards. And same with the ScanSnap. I was kind of, when you first mentioned the ScanSnap, I'm like, well, I really love this 7030. And I'm not a big flatbed scanner guy. Yeah. Because you mentioned the fingernails. I chew my fingernails. So it's a little more difficult for me to use a flatbed scanner, not having, fingernails. And I plugged that ScanSnap in, and I really put it to good use yesterday for the first time, and fell in love with it. And, I mean, it's you push the button, you can see the blue light, you just push that button, it scans. It's got like that robotic scanner up there.
Yeah.
And it boom pops up. It saves it right to my folder. I have a special folder that I copy and paste into an image holder, and then from there I copy and paste the links into my uploads to eBay. And it's cool, so right? Easy to use. Yeah. Even a dummy like me can use it.
I'm right there with you. I can sell anything, but when you get down to start using things, it needs to be real simple for me. I'm an older guy, right? So the engineers in Japan has done an amazing job in the evolution of our scanner line. As I mentioned, we've been doing scanners for 25 years, and this technology is a wow technology. I've been able to, depending on how you lay down the board, you can put anywhere between 3 to 6 cards, I would say, at a time safely, and it pick up the image. I tried to stretch it to 9 the other day and it didn't work so well. So I would say about 6 or so cards is probably the max, unless you lay them a certain way, which I really haven't messed around with too much. But I started off with the slabs, just trying to see what does it look like, right? And it will pick up the image and crop it automatically, and automatically dump it so that you don't have to do anything. You could just upload it right to eBay and start selling, if you want. The camera technology it's built very stern, it's got a moving mechanism head here, but the quality is really high, which is what we pride ourselves here at Fujitsu is giving a high quality image. So I think that this is a better technology than the flatbed technology out there, just because of the robustness and the different things it can do.
And I love the cropping function, because at first, when I first tried it out, when I opened it up and last week, I was scanning one card at a time, because I didn't know about the cropping function. It's like I'm just gonna do a quick test run. And then yesterday I really started playing around with it, and it's like I don't even have to crop. Like, I mean, I'm archaic when it comes to scanners. Like back in the day, like my first scanners in 20 years ago, where you would have to like crop them yourself, and it's it's all cropped. I don't even have to and it's smart enough. It knows where the edges are. And so you're not missing any part of the card if it's scanned correctly.
And if for whatever reason it does miss it, there's a adjustable area on there that's really quick and easy to use that you could just drag and drop over. And, you know, I'm reading some of the notes here. Thank you, David. It looks like you're helping us respond to some of the questions. He's gotten 12 cards on the SV600. So, you know, I think it's really in the way that you lay it out and the usage over time. You know, one of the things that we're going to start doing is going to card shows and having tabletops and just challenging people to come up and break it, right? Go ahead, knock yourself out. And you know, the proof is really in the pudding. When you start using these scanners, you're going to see a difference. And your ROI will immediately come back to you. You know, I mean, how many cards were you imaging a day prior to a scanner, Bo? Like 5, 10, 20?
You know, I was probably doing, on a good day, 40 to 50. And now I can do, so using my streamlined setup, I probably quadrupled my output. So
Wow.
what I was doing 50, I can now do 200. If I sit down and if I have all of my cards ready to scan, if I know what price I'm going to enter, I can get those uploaded. And I can do about 120 in 1 hour, start to finish, from me turning the computer on. Well, my computer's a little slow. Once everything's set up and ready to go until they're posted to eBay, I can do about 120 in 1 hour. So and that's, you know, and it would have taken me at least twice as long.
Yeah. And guys, like, don't believe us. You know, you can question all the mechanics of this all that you like. Go on YouTube, type in trading card scanners. Look at all of the people in the world that have used this in different scenarios, whether they're scanning a couple hundred a day or thousands per day. It works. It simply just works, and it's very easy to use. And you know, from a quality perspective, we have people using. If I flip my camera around here, you'll see the scanner on my desk is about 15 years old. I still use it. It works just fine. Why get a new one, right? It's great. Our scanners last forever. And, you know, you're going to get the ROI out of your investment right away. And that's what this is it's an investment. You know, you've got to be serious about wanting to image cards if you invest in something like this.
Absolutely. And I was, you know, I'm always hesitant when I want to put my money into something. You know, I'm really, you know, I go over everything with a fine-tooth comb, and I went into selling cards full-time in October, and this was something on my radar, but I didn't want to put that investment in right away. So I did the initial video from the, you know, I basically had the Carnosio website up and was going down, you know, down the list of the scanners, and somebody that was watching bought the scanner, put it to use. And this was just a few days before I started full time, and showed me how much faster it was. So once I actually saw it in action and knowing what time I was putting into, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month, and then I'll put the money down, do the investment. Not 30 minutes into my first day of scanning, I'm taking photos with my phone, and then I'm uploading those to the server for the photo server. And I'm like, that scanner I'm going to save hours and hours of time. Just day one, my return on investment was established in the first week of having the scanner. And it was just, you know, by far the best investment, that and in a label printer, one of the thermal label printers, two best investments I've made for my business. It's just been amazing.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of confidence that I have in this product, and one of the things that, you know, these products come with a warranty, a 1-year warranty. If you buy in the next 30 days off of any mechanism, and, you know, at some point in time we'll share my contact information. Feel free to reach out to me if there's any problems. If you buy in the next 30 days any of these products, send me an email and I'll give you an extra 1-year warranty for free.
Nice.
Just from listening to this. Reference Bo. All right.
I like it. Reference Bo.
We'll take care of you. So and it's just the confidence that we have in this product. It's amazing. So
And I know how long has the relationship with Carnazio? Because I saw the article several months ago, and I know it predates that. So how long has
Yeah.
that relationship been?
So actually, Chronosio is based in Canada, and the way that Fujitsu works is Canada is a separate company from the Fujitsu America group.
Okay.
So they have been working with the Canadian team. I think it's been about 5 or 6 years. David had mentioned to me. I'm sure he'll correct me in the chat here, but I know it's been quite a long time. My partnership with David has probably been within the last year.
Okay.
In the last year is when Fujitsu has recognized the trading card market as a market and has allowed me to start investing money and time into things like, partnering up with you and providing you extra scanners to demo. We actually have built a great relationship with a slabbing company. Starts with a P. They're pretty well known out there. And they've dedicated their next year to imaging cards. So not only, partnerships with you and with David on the software side, we've also created partnerships on the card storefronts, as well as slab manufacturers, such as the one that starts with the P, who leads the market and has a ton of back orders that they need to hurry up and get through to help all of us through. And they're doing it using our technology in a way. Along with some other technology. So we've just built a bunch of good relationships with good people. The one thing about this hobby, it's good people.
Absolutely.
Right? You pick up the phone and you call someone, they call you back. It's amazing. If this could work in every other vertical, it's great. But the Chronosio relationship is honestly my first big relationship in the market. And, David and I have bounced a bunch of ideas off, and he's selling scanners online. He sold them since we opened up his storefront. I think it's about 2 dozen that he sold at this point. So, really something that I value those relationships more than anything else. And I wouldn't put my name to something if I didn't believe in it.
So what's 2022 look like as far as is furthering those relationships within the hobby? What are the plans for 2022?
Oh, it's a great that you brought that up. So 2022 is going to be amazing for us. When you look at the card market, it's estimated to be about $14 billion right now. And the CAGR for the card market's roughly 23%. So the estimates for the card market by the year 2027 is supposed to be $100 billion with a B. So we recognize that that's an area that we can monetize from on our end. And we're going to continue to build other partnerships with a number of card shops. And if there is any other software companies that have a unique platform, we'd love to connect with you. We plan on doing some trade shows once the Corona stuff gets calmed down a little bit in the summertime, hopefully. So we'll start doing some trade shows, and you'll probably see myself and a couple of my colleagues working the booths, hopefully. And then just perfect the message. We're working with our marketing team to create some pretty cool videos to help the market out and publicize some of the partnerships that we've had. And that's what it's all about. When you look at the verticals that we've had success in, it's partnerships and good people and doing what you say you're going to do. And this market is not something that I plan on giving up on anytime. I mean, I've been doing it for 40 years. What makes you think I'm going to stop tomorrow? So.
I love it. I know at the end we were going to open it up to a lot of to
Sure.
any questions for the crowd. Some have been asked and answered throughout the video so far. But if anybody does have any additional questions, shoot them in the chat, and Don, I'm sure, would be happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, I see that Andrew 7160 is so many cards are now Chrome versus paper. Yeah, the scanners do extremely well with paper type of cards, extremely well. You wouldn't even hesitate doing that. Chrome cards offer a different characteristic that you have to attend to, right? If you scan a Chrome card through the scanner, it'll scan it, not a problem. It's not gonna, but the reflection of the card sometimes sometimes doesn't look to the same original as you originally put it through, which is why we have software in the box that allows you to adjust it back to its original form. The overhead scanners actually work a lot better on the Chrome side, I would say, than the sheet fed scanners. So it's not a matter of can it scan, not a problem. You can put anything through this feeder and you'll be fine. It's a matter of making it at the same quality that the card originally went in so that you can sell it on eBay and or whatever and image it on your platform. So paper, not a problem. Chrome, I would suggest using something like the SV600 to not have to do the manipulation that you would have to afterwards from the glare and everything.
Excellent. Any additional things that you have on that you want to touch on?
No, I think we hit it all. And, this partnership is going to be something that hopefully never ends. Maybe it can be a reoccurring thing. I'm happy to do that. But I think that we've made our statement here. And, like I said, run out and buy a scanner. If you buy it in the next 30 days, any Fujitsu scanner, you get that 1 year extra free warranty. You just have to send me an email and become my friend, I guess.
Awesome. What is your do you have an email that you can share?
My email is dcaruso, so that's DCARUSO.PFU, Paul Franklin Unicorn at Fujitsu.com. So dcaruso.pfu at Fujitsu.com.
Awesome. And Diego chimes in, the overhead scanners, how would it do with a 24x36 plane? Well, and I know that I haven't looked at the actual
I believe it's yeah. So there's a mat that comes along with the scanner that you lay down. It's a black mat. You got to have a black background comes out so that you can crop. And I believe that's 11x14. So the 24x36, you would probably have to do portions of it and then stitch them together at some point in time. That definitely would be too large for the overhead to catch up. I mean, when you look at it, here's my arm. It's not that tall of a scanner, right? I'm an average size guy. It's gonna come out to cards about right here, which is about a foot to a foot and a half out.
Okay.
What is my favorite card ever? Oh, someone had to bring it up. So my favorite card ever, I'll narrow it down to 3. The 19.
See, nobody can ever. That's with collectors.
It's impossible.
We can never answer one.
Yeah, it's impossible. So number 1 favorite card is my Steve Largent rookie card. He's my favorite player, idol growing up. I got his jerseys. I bet him. Great guy. I'd say that's number 1. Number 2, 89 Upper Deck, Ken Griffey Jr. I mean, the kid. How do you not like the kid? That was the card every kid wanted. And I'm lucky enough to now have a couple of them. But as a kid, it was really difficult to get. And then 3, just because it's awesome, 89 Fleer, Billy Ripken. You know the card. You know the word on the bat. I wanted that card so badly as a kid. My mom got it for me 1 year for Christmas, and I still have it to this day. Actually, Billy Ripken is someone that signs through the mail, and I got that card signed about 3 months ago from him.
Back. Oh, very cool.
It's amazing. So that's, I also am a huge Will Clark fan. My son wears number 22 because of Will Clark, although he's never seen him play. He still wears 22, and I've got every Will Clark rookie card signed, which is 9 of them. Wow. Got 9 rookie cards. So Will Clark is definitely, shout out to my buddy Troy, who's on here, who's a big collector. This guy, Troy, is crazy. You go and look in his garage, his entire garage from left to right is baseballs that are signed. You can bring your kid over to his house and just have a field day and learn about baseball by going to Troy's house. So
that's awesome. I hated Will Clark as a player because
what?
He was a Cub killer.
Cub killer? All right.
Diehard Cubs fan. He was a Cub killer. Yeah. And then he ended his career in St. Louis with the Cardinals, who, as a Cubs fan,
made it even worse.
To hate the Cardinals. So yeah. So it's like, but I respect his game. And I've heard from everybody I've heard from, he's a great person, great guy. So
one of the coolest people you'll ever meet. It's how he's not in the Hall of Fame. It's beyond me. I know he doesn't have all the wow stats, but I'll take him any day of the week at first base. You know?
So another question on the scanners, Greg asks, so the AI is needed to add copy title to the cropped scans. Can you answer that?
Yeah, so there is no artificial intelligence built behind the scanners, right? The software behind is a Fujitsu software that will automatically crop it after the scan. So it'll save it to a PDF or a JPEG at that point. But there's no artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence comes from our partners, such as Chronosio, and some of the others out there that'll retract the data from the card and import it into eBay, so it makes it easier for you to sell the product and not have to type things out. So the cropping is different from AI.
Okay, excellent, awesome, Don. Thanks so much for. I mean, I want to thank you for just being a new hobby friend and getting to nerd out, talk about wrestling, talking about cards, and all that stuff, because it's always and you mentioned it earlier about all the great people within the hobby, and it's just so fun to meet people, and just we all have different stories, we all collect differently, and it's just fun to share with each other that passion, that love, and then when you throw when you throw business along with it, it just it
makes it fun.
That circle,
it gives me a reason to let Fujitsu pay for our trips to the card shows and meet you, right? And Bo, I want to thank you. I mean, guys, if you're new to this, to Bo's subscription because of this call, subscribe to it. Subscribe. He does this every morning on different subjects, and if you remotely like cards or sports, Bo and his podcasts are really great to. I mean, I watch them every night with my son before we go to bed, and I can honestly say, Bo, you've probably injected a good amount of knowledge and actually hurt my pocketbook, because I've had to spend some money on cards for my son as well. So thank you for having me, and I hope to see you all someday out there on the streets when this virus goes away.
Right. I appreciate that. Jenny mentions, I do promote a local show, about 75 tables in Madison, Wisconsin. So if you can ever make it out here, I definitely have a spot for Fujitsu.
Let me know. If it's in like April, that should be, this Omicron lift. So we'll do everything we can to be there.
Sounds good. Don, again, thanks so much.
All right.
Love the scanners, Fujitsu Scanners. Check them out. Shoot that email out once again. You've got the offer.
Yeah, I think if I can do it on the chat here, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know how to use this, but it's dcaruso.pfu@fujitsu.com, or reach out to Bo, or I'm all over LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook and all those whatever other platforms. Just I'm easy to find.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks again, everybody in the chat. Thanks so much for joining in and in providing some questions about this as well. Don, thanks so much. We will keep in touch, and obviously we'll definitely be using those Fujitsu scanners.
For sure. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks all, and have a great day.
Good one. Bye.